Alright, what is up, guys? Welcome back to yet another beautiful banger. I have to talk to you guys about something that's been kind of eating at me a little bit, but before we get into that, I gotta show y'all a little something that I bought myself. This is my beautiful girl, Black Betty. It's an Ibanez electric guitar. I bought this because I wanted to start getting into a little bit of electric guitar. I just wanted to show y'all really quick. Planning on like hanging it up maybe like right back there. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but bought this shit because I like the acoustic guitar and it's fun, but you know damn well everybody knows electric guitar is super cool. So that was kind of one of my goals for this year, is that I wanted to learn electric guitar. Obviously I wanted to get back into piano. That was my goal last year and I've done so. Just wanted to show her off really quick, and that way if you guys see her in the back, I've already addressed it. But yeah, so in our topic today, I wanted to talk about how everybody's extremely hypocritical, okay? And I don't mean that in a bad way necessarily, because I know that a lot of us do it. So a lot of people do tend to be extremely hypocritical. And what do I mean by that? So in this case, obviously, we're all pretty hypocritical, I'd say, right? But a lot of people tend to do this, including myself. I know I've been notoriously terrible at this my whole life, but being mad at people for doing things that you're doing as well. You know what I'm saying? So it could be, for example, their first time doing this thing and it sets you off. Well, I would be the type of person that would be then mad at that person, or talk to them about it and be like, hey, why are you doing that? Like, that's not cool. But at the same time, I do it myself, and this kind of is under the accountability chart, I would say, or topic. So I know I had kind of covered that before on the whole taking accountability, but this is kind of just a subcategory of that. So a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people when I say that, love to make you look like a bad person for what you're doing when they do it a lot, right? And I think a lot of it just takes a lot of self-recognition to be able to like sit back and be like, oh, you know what? I can't really be mad at them because I do the same thing. Now, is it good to communicate those things to one another? Absolutely. But we have to stop doing this thing where we just keep playing the victim. You know what I'm saying? It seems like a lot of people love to play the victim, and they want to be like, well, you shouldn't be doing that, or like, it justifies what I just did because you just did this, but you do that too. You know what I'm sayand I've run into this a lot in my life recently with people, and also knowing it in myself that I've done it. But I've gotten a lot better. I make sure that it's in my head when that situation pops up, that before I say something stupid, or before I don't even like mention that I do it too, I tend to get mad at people, but I also try to retract that and hold myself back, right? And like I said, you always want to make sure that people are aware of what maybe is going wrong if you love them, right? Like if it's someone you care about and you want to see them do better, go for it. But at the same time, understand your boundaries, okay? You don't want to push boundaries. You don't want to be all up in people's business all the time, right? And people deserve their own personal space. You don't need to be in that all the time, okay? First of all, learn boundaries if you don't already. But secondly, I would like to say that I don't think it's gonna help anybody when you constantly do something bad, right? If you're always doing something that's in the wrong, and you're like, you need to stop drinking, right? That's kind of how I would say it. Is like, okay, you need to stop drinking, turn it to we need to stop drinking, or insert whatever problem you're having with said person, right? I think that it is kind of a wording thing when it comes to that. Definitely don't harp on people though for stuff that they're doing wrong, because at the end of the day, you need to worry about yourself. And if you're sitting here worrying about other people, not even what other people say, but what they're doing, you need to learn how to push off, bucko, because these people have their own lives. They have their own journeys. And yes, you should always want to help the people that you love. But if it's someone that you don't love them, like maybe they're just a distant friend or something like that, or just a peer of yours, don't be like gossiping and sitting there talking about this and that about them. It's not going to do you any good. And most of the time people will know, and they find it extremely ironic when you're like, oh, that person gets drunk all the time. But it's like, okay, dude, well, you are saying that about that guy, but you do too. You know what I'm saying? I think it would help our society out a lot more if people figured that out. And that's why I want to put this message out, because I'm sick of seeing it in myself. If there's other people out there, like-minded individuals that have that same desire to change themselves, or even if you don't, but this video does that for you, then that's awesome. I want to be able to get to that point where I'm reaching thousands of people and helping, or even hundreds, start at 100, I want to be able to help you guys. So it just specifically irks me every time it happens, or like I find it extremely ironic when people say that, but then they, it's the same thing, right? It's like, you do it too. So, know your place, but at the same time, maybe call that person out. If they're doing that and they're saying that kind of stuff all the time about other people, maybe you need to be like, listen, you do it too. Call them out on their bullshit, because a lot of us have to realize we're not perfect. And we don't really have space to be judging other people. Like, we really don't. We don't have the space to, I don't even have the space to say that you guys should do this, I'm just trying to help you guys out. I'm trying to be that thought in your head that maybe you ignore or maybe you just don't have. I want to be able to plant that seed and just let it grow. And if you guys want to tend to that seed, if you guys want to water it and give it sunlight every day, then awesome. Like, I would love to see that flourish, but at the same time, if you guys don't do it, like, I'm just giving you the resources necessary to start that garden. That's kind of where I'm at. But if you guys want, I have been kind of thinking about doing, not like a super official version of it, but if you guys ever need like a specific question, I'll be opening my Instagram which I'll link somewhere in wherever. So, but if you guys need anything, I am going to be opening a little one-on-one questionnaire. So if you guys need anything, I will directly speak with you. It's not going to be a robot. It's not going to be automated. None of that. So if you guys ever have any questions, feel free to reach out and just let me know that you came from, this video or whatever the title of it was. Just that way I know it's not, a fake account. But yeah, if you guys ever have any questions, I'd be happy to answer. And I've been kind of wanting to do something like that for a while, because the video can only relate to you so much. But if it's a personalized problem that you guys need covered, I'd be happy to either make a video about it or, talk to you guys about it. But anyways, back to the topic. I just wanted to, let you guys know that I want to do that. But for now, we're going to stay on this hypocritical topic, all right? One thing that I specifically don't like is when people can't see what they're doing wrong, right? But they will be the first to hold it over your head and use that against you. You know what I'm saying? That, to me, it bothers me a lot, and I hate when it happens to me. I don't like when people are, they do it all the time, and then it's like, oh, the second you do it, oh, now there's a problem. You know what I'm saying? It takes that little bit of self-reflection, and I think that, like I kind of said, you need to be able to communicate that to your people and let them know and be like, hey, why is it cool when you do it but not with me? It doesn't have to be super aggressive or super vulgar. You guys don't need to get in a fight or a physical altercation, or it doesn't matter. I did want to address this because, like I said, it's been something that's kind of went on in my life a lot in the past year, and that also being in me as well, not just a specific person or group of people or anything. If you guys could just try to pick up on those things, whether it's someone else. I know it's a lot easier to do it when you see other people doing it, but the point of this video is really to get you to look inside yourself, and that's what most of these videos are. It's not for you to dissect and be like, oh, okay, I need to look out for that in other people. No. You can, and that's fine, because that's a good quality to have, or these are good qualities to have. But on the other end of that, you need to make sure that you're looking in the mirror, right? You need to look inside yourself and see what's going on. Like, why am I being like this? Or how can I fix that and change the way that I think? Because a lot of people love to stay ignorant to the fact that your mind controls your entire body. And I know so many people who will say it all the time and be like, I can't help what I think. You 100% can. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's damn near easy at all. It's not. If you surround yourself in environments that make that easier for you. Like if you're around people who are visually aware of themselves, don't you think it'd be a lot easier? It'd rub off on you, and it'd make it a lot easier to see those things in yourself and maybe want to make a change, especially if that's the kind of people you're around, versus if you're in a scenario or a environment where, you know, everyone's just pointing the blame finger, and it's like, okay, well, that's all you're gonna be. And your mom was right. You are who you hang out with. So maybe take mom's advice on that, or dad's advice, whoever. Just listen to it, because those people up there and all around you, they all know what's going on. They've been here long enough. They've had these struggles. And, you know, sometimes they find out the unfortunate way. So they've already found out just the hard route. So how about, instead of making things hard on yourself, make this a little easier, and just take my advice when I say that, all right? I for real do want you guys to grow into beautiful people, and I want to see our generation thrive going into our adult years, or if you're already an adult, going into your 30s and 40s or whatever. Like, I want to see all of us getting into a good groove, but also with a good head on our shoulders. I want to help people, and I want to help build our generation to be the next best generation, because there's a lot of stigmas, like I've said time and time again, that everyone thinks that our generation's the laziest and we're the worst compliant generation that there is. I don't think that's true from what I've seen, right? I know that we do have some people that are maybe not the best people, or they try to portray themselves to be something that they're not, and it looks really bad. I also see that even in the midst of all that evil and all of the bad stuff going on, that at the end of the day, it's just kids and young adults trying to be creative, but they don't know how to outlet that, right? So like, you have a kid who's acting like a thug because that's what he's grown up around, because he wants to fit in and he wants to be creative and express himself. So let's say he starts rapping, and then he gets into a place where it's like, okay, now you have a platform that he's built, but it's not a good one, you know? All it is talking about murdering people and stealing from people and fucking this guy's bitch and you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't need all that. To me, I mean, I do like that music occasionally, right? You know, there's time and place for sure, but the point is that I do want to see that kid maybe see one of my videos, or any of the other self-improvement YouTubers out there, or even someone that can just help them out in person. I want to be able to see that kid grow up to learn how to express themselves and their creativity in a way more positive manner than whatever they're doing, right? Because what they're doing is, yes, it's expressing creativity, and you are doing an art, and it is an art form, but it's just not putting good energy out there. And if you're not putting good energy out, you're not going to get good energy back, right? So you kind of royally screw yourself if you stay in that situation. And some people find that out a lot later than they should, and then it's too late. So, you know, I'm really here for everybody, those kids included, or those young adults, whatever. I'm here for the people who are maybe just like me, who have a decent life set for them. And, you know, I'm not going to claim that I came from money, but I also didn't come from the worst of the worst. So, you know, if you're even in that situation, or you did come from money, it doesn't matter. These are all lessons that everybody needs to learn. And we have to understand that, yes, our situations may be different, but we didn't choose those, okay? It doesn't matter how much money someone has, or their parents have, or, you know, what they were given growing up. Everyone has to learn the same lessons in some fashion. They're all going to suck no matter what, right? The magnitude of those lessons never go down based on the amount of money or status that someone has. Be forgiving to those people, and understanding more so. Like I said, don't be hypocritical. Understand that if you're doing something that they're doing that you don't like, don't say anything. Okay? Maybe you need to work on it first before you start going to talk to people. Guess what? You could go talk to them when you figured that out in your life, maybe 3 to 6 months down the line, whenever you've got it down pat, and like, you know that you don't do that anymore, or however long it takes, you know. But just when you know that you don't do that anymore, then you're able to go talk to that person, right? Then you have the place to talk. You're not going to get anywhere, because when you try to tell someone that message for the first time, they're going to immediately just shoot it down, because, oh, you do it too. Like, they're not going to listen to you. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I try to be transparent with you guys, because I can tell you guys that you should do this. It makes you a better person, or it'll help you become a better person, even though I still do it. But I let you guys know that I still do it. But at the end of the day, the message needs to be said, right? And not everything that I talk about I do, but maybe I have done, or maybe it's something that I see other people doing that I don't want to be happening, right? And I know that a lot of my topics are broad enough that it applies to roughly the entire population of our Earth, but I want to be able to give you guys a little insight. So if you guys did enjoy, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you could. The channel is growing pretty good, honestly. We've gotten a lot of more members, and I'm glad to be able to put my content out to people who are very awesome, supportive. I love your guys' comments. It makes my day every day when I see that I was able to help somebody out. It really does. So I appreciate you guys a lot, and I cannot wait to get to my next video. But I do have some plans. I'm gonna go on a little rant, a little yap sesh. But I do have plans to get a new setup going. It's on the other side of my room down here. I have some plans for that. It may be a couple months. So I'm gonna try to get that cleaned out. Just have a new space to be able to create content, because I feel like with the way that the content has been and it's been growing, I want to be able to give it a new fresh look and space. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be in the works for the next few months. I'll definitely keep you guys posted on that. In the meantime, that's all I have for you guys, but I love you. Peace out.